everybody's application is unique. CIC or the visa officer can be looking at your application with Holy Ghost fire. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, my name is Raisa. I am a Cameroonian living in Canada. I do videos on lifestyle, education and vlogs. Please hit the subscribe button to join the family. That's if you like what you see, and then you can stay tuned for more videos. And also don't forget to turn on your notification bell so anytime I post a video you are the first to know. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming to watch my videos. I appreciate that. You guys know what it is. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and share this video with your family and friends. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So as you guys can see from the title of this video, I'm just going to be telling you how to apply for a study permit. A lot of people ask questions about it. They're like, oh, how can I start the process? How can I do this? How can I do that? So guys, as you already know, everything has to be written down for me to be able to spill the beans out or the juice. So I'm going to be looking at my phone. If you see me looking, just know that I'm trying to read off some stuff because this is a lot of information, as you guys know. Okay, so stay tuned. So after you've gotten the letter of acceptance from university, the next thing is on your mind is, okay, how do I go about the next process? What documents do I need, and probably how much am I going to spend or how much money am I going to spend to proceed with my application, right? So that's what this video is going to summarize as a whole. So before what you need to do is you're going to create an account with CIC. I think it's called IRCC account, something like that, and you can decide to do a paper application or you can decide to do an online application. I will say do an online application because it is faster, like it makes it go quicker. And I guess, and I'm supposing that you want to know to have your things done fast, so you know where you stand, right? So when you go now to create an account, you have to click on the GC key button for you to access your account. And what CIC, what it does is it's going to give you a particular number, like a number of personal questions to answer, and you have to answer those questions depending, like they are very personal. So what you click or what you answer is going to depend on what your application is going to be like. So you have to be careful when you're filling out this application. So after creating an account and you fill out all your personal information, it's going to take you now to a section where you have to fill out your CIC forms, upload some documents and all that stuff, supporting documents. So you make sure you fill out the forms correctly. The required forms are the one for a study visa and the one for a temporary student visa. So they go hand in glove, so they go together. You always have to do the two of them together because the temporary student visa allows you to enter Canada. If you're approved, that's what you will show. You're going to present at the border for you to be let into Canada, and the study permit is is what allows you to study in Canada, as you guys already know. In order for you to fill out these CIC forms, you have to download them using Adobe Reader, because if you don't have Adobe Reader, you cannot download those forms. Anytime you click on it, it's not going to give you the information that you need. So you have to download it on your computer first, so you can type your information in it and then upload it back to your profile. So on the form, they're going to ask you to fill in your family information, so they're very personal things, all your education background, all of those things. And make sure you keep track of all these things that you're filling, because when you get to Canada and you have to like extend your study permit and all those things, they have to match. So make sure you keep them very well. Remember everything that you typed in your forms. They have to always match, because once you make mistakes in one kind of way, they start thinking, okay, this person, you're not straight. So it starts raising doubts in their mind. But moving on to the next documents that you need to upload to your profile, aside the CIC forms. So you require like your letter of acceptance from university, a passport, international passport, a valid one. And on this passport, you have to upload the pages that have stamps. Any page that have stamps, if you've traveled before, you've gone out of your country before, make sure you upload those pages that have stamps on them. Very, very important. If you don't do it, you're in trouble, and I'm sure you'll get denied. Obviously, you need 2 passport size photos with specifications, the right ones, specifications of the ones that I've told you to give. So you have to provide a letter of financial support. This, you have to be careful with this one. So it's like a bank statement. You make sure your bank statement makes sense. What I mean is that you have to calculate your tuition fee. You know how much your tuition fee is. You know how much you've weighed your living expenses. Total all of that and make your bank statement reasonable enough to show that you have money, like your finances are okay to sustain your stay in Canada. They don't want you to come here and be suffering. They want you to come here and be able to take care of yourself. Don't come and frustrate and come and take their money. You understand? So you have to know that the next thing you have to upload is a letter of explanation or a statement of purpose. So in this letter comprises of an explanation to the Canadian government or to the person that is reviewing your application, that even though you're leaving your country to go and study in Canada, you have an aim, you have a vision, and you're going to come back to your country. So you have to convince them you're not coming here to come and remain. You're coming here to study. This is why you're studying this program. You've chosen it because of so and so, and choose a program that makes sense also. Don't just choose any kind of program, because imagine you say you're going to study, okay, is it music? I'll say music also. I'm not saying music is bad, but I don't think they'll be convinced about that kind of thing. Okay, what is in your country that you're going to, okay, is that why you're leaving your country to come and study in Canada because you want to study music and so? But when you tell them that you're going for this reason, this is how your country is, you have learned this and that, you want to leave and come and impact your own country when you come back. So all the skills that you've learned in Canada, you're coming back to implement them back home. So that's what you have to try to convince them about. Some people also include an affidavit of support. This one, I personally use this one for my own because it was a document that showed assets, right? Your assets include landed assets in such a way that even if maybe you don't have the money, you have these things with you. If your parents are sponsoring you, good for you. So they can help you with that particular one. You also need an IELTS here, so the English as a second language proof. With this one, it's optional. You can still put it there because the school must have had a copy or so, and before you even apply, yes, they must have given, before you've had the admission, they must have given it to you. So you can include it in your application as well. And I'll advise you to combine all of these documents in a PDF, merge them so that it's easy they are all in one file and you can easily upload them. On that website, they are required to submit less than 4 megabytes. So like I said, the study permit application goes with your temporary student visa, and they also need you to submit your identification documents, so things like your birth certificate, your national ID card, your ID card from home, a police report, so letter of non-conviction, that's how we say it in Cameroon. So you upload all of those things to show that you have no criminal record, and you also need to upload previous visas to satisfy your travel history. So that's if it's applicable to you. So if you have not traveled before, you don't have to submit that, but if you've traveled, you have to submit your visa history. So this particular list of documents is mainly for if you're the principal applicant. So if you're the principal applicant, you submit your own bank statement, you submit your own letter of support, you submit those ones for yourself. But if you're under a sponsorship, you have to provide information to show the relationship with that sponsor. Okay, the bank statement with your sponsor, the letter of affidavit of support of your sponsor, and all those things, identification of your sponsor, those ones. So mind you, it's different. In that way, they're not confused about what you're doing, because sometimes people will not really submit those documents and they're like, okay, what's going on here? I don't understand. You're the principal applicant, yes, but you don't have this, you don't have that, so it doesn't match. So they have to always match. So in a situation where your application is pushed by a sponsor, so you're going to be sponsored in Canada, I want to be very specific about this one, and I'm going to just read it off here because that's what I wrote. So you have to include a 6-month bank statement of your sponsor with adequate funds and a reference letter attached to it by the bank. So on the letterhead of the bank statement should be signed and stamped. Yes, this is very specific. So in addition, your sponsors could be your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your cousin, your wife, or your husband. So there's nothing like my family friend is sponsoring me, or one far relative or something like that. No, it's not like it should be somebody that is directly related to you. Do you understand? So if it's a family friend, I cannot really guarantee that it is correct for you to do that. I don't know if that works. Maybe some people have done it and it has worked for them. I really don't know. I don't guarantee it, and I don't want you to risk it and then you end up losing your your money or something. Also, the application fee you need is 150 Canadian dollars. In France, that's 64,600 francs. That's the estimate of 150 Canadian dollars. I don't know about the other countries, but you guys can do the math to convert $150 to your own currency. That's what they should give you. So that's how much you need for your application fee. So this one is very important. Let's say you finish university. Let's say you finished school probably in 2018, and you've been doing nothing till about 2020. You haven't worked, you haven't nothing. You have to explain why that gap is there in your life. You have to give an explanation. Honestly, I'll never lie. If you're employed, you attach a letter of employment, you attach whatever documents you need for that, explain what you need to explain. Everything's about you explaining, like telling them this is what this is what happens in your life, and this is your next stage. This is your plan. Do you understand? So make sure you fill in that gap. Don't let most definitely there shouldn't be gaps in your application. Like, fill those gaps in. Explain as much as you can. Compress the documents and upload them. As long as they are less than 4 megabytes, you're good. So like I said, if you're employed, you have to show your employment letter. You have to show about 4 to 6 months of your pay slips. So your salary that you were being paid, right? You should include them. You have to attach them to your application. If you don't have your pay slips or your whatever that is available, you have to point it out to the visa officer through your statement of purpose by explaining to them this is why you don't have it. And of course, if you're unemployed, you should be able to show proof that you've been doing tangible, productive things with your life. And maybe these things that you're doing, they could, if they had a connection to what you're intending to study or to your program of study, include them. In that way, there will be a tie, and it's going to make sense to the visa officer. Also, make sure you upload in PDF. You can still use some. I think you can still use JPEG, but I'll recommend I used PDF because it's clear and they don't have to be doubting what you've written in your documents. Everything is clear for them to see. So I'll advise that you use PDF to do your application. Don't use any kind of thing that is not going to show clearly. They'll start telling you maybe your application is going to be delayed, and you start wondering what's going on. Maybe they've denied you or something. And some people, I think they even deny some people if something doesn't if it's not clear enough for them to see. They can't stress for you. Do you know how many applications they have? They have thousands of applications to go through, so they cannot sit there and be looking at your one application trying to figure things out for themselves. You're supposed to do it for them and make their work easy. Okay. So look guys, I'm filming with my phone, so I'm trying not to be distracted by looking at myself, because I'm just here looking at myself, so I'm just trying to focus. So if you've paid your tuition, you should attach a proof that you've paid your tuition. In my case, I did not pay any tuition, because sometimes I found it like, okay, if I pay my tuition and at the end of the day I get denied my visa, how do I get the money back? So all of these things come into play. So you have to just weigh your options and see, depending on the weight of your bank statement. So it's a risk you have to take. At the same time, it's up to you if you want to pay your tuition. If you have the money, pay it. Me, I didn't have the money at that time, but maybe I think we didn't have the money at that time. That's why I wasn't paid. And you also have to understand that the fact that you've paid your tuition is no guarantee that they'll give you a visa. There's no guarantee for that. So it's just a win-win situation. You pay it, you get a visa. You don't pay it, you could still get a visa, right? So it just depends at the end of the day. I've had a couple of friends who paid everything. They had I feel like most of the time it's just maybe you have not explained something properly. Make sure you cover the holes in your application. I'm going to say it should be about 2 million and above. That's what you should have. Have that ready. Have it ready. It should be in your and above. When I say and above, in fact, it can even be more. It should be very much. It should be heavy, but not in a way that everybody puts in question marks. Reasonable, but makes sense, like I said. So finally, I'm just going to say you should put a lot of effort in your statement of purpose. Like, give it your all. Write it, structure it, and make it very professional and neat. Don't plagiarize, or don't go and copy somebody's application or statement of purpose and come and include and write it as your own. Don't. It's going to be a no-no, and you're automatically out of the whole thing. In fact, denial is your portion. So don't plagiarize somebody's own statement of purpose. Do your own and make it look professional and good enough. So talking about living expenses, as the applicant, you have to know that you have to show a minimum of $10,000 as your living expenses in a year, because that's the minimum. That's the after weighing all the options or everything, or weighing every cost, rent, everything. That is the minimum amount that you're going to spend in a year for your visa or study permit to be approved. That is the minimum that you need. So you have to know that. So if you're also applying with your spouse or something, or you have kids they're going to travel to Canada with, you're going to have to show that you have enough funds to take care of all of you. So you have to know that if you as a person you need $10,000 minimum for yourself, how much, what more of when you include your wife, your husband and your kids. Do you understand? So you weigh those options and you're able to know how much you're supposed to have, or the minimum amount of money you should have. And that's all for a minimum of 1 year. So when you're uploading your documents, you have to make sure that the part that says financial information, that's where you submit all this letter of support, all of those things, anything that's to do with finance, you upload them there. The one that has to, the part that says letter of explanation or other supporting documents, explain all your explanations that you've done, merge everything and put them in one place. All your identification documents, you merge all of them in one PDF and put them in one place. Do you understand what I'm saying? In that way, it makes it easier for you and the visa officers as well, right? Because those people, they're very picky. So when you're doing those things, you have to know that these people, let me do it orderly before people go and reject my documents. Apply as if there's no tomorrow, because your life is dependent on it. Actually, in a way, your life is dependent on it, because you know what you're doing, you know where you're applying to go. This thing has become expensive. So please make sure you fill your documents very well. Be careful when you're doing all this. You don't want all your money to go to waste. Are you normal? Do you think they pick that money from the tree? So let me tell you something. When I was on my own time, there was nothing like biometrics fee or something, or I don't know. I heard that's a new thing. So there's biometrics fee. I think that's about $85 or something. So you have to also pay for that. So you download the biometric request form and then you take it to like a visa application center place, and then they'll take pictures of you and all that and all those good stuff. I did not do that. My own time, I did not have to do that. So I don't remember going to any place for them to take my fingerprint, or they were not doing biometrics then. So this is just new, because that's what people are doing now. So you upload those things and then you hit the submit button and you're good to go. After a few days, CIC will get back to you telling you that they've received the application and all the good stuff, all the blah blah blah. So at this point, you just be waiting, because in Cameroon, I think the wait is 2 months, 8 weeks, I think. So it depends on your country where you're applying from. That's how long your documents will be under processing. You just have to wait, and CIC will get back to you when they want. You have done your part. You believe and you've done your part. You just want to leave it to God. So God will do the rest. Oh shit. Okay. Right? So pray to God, and in fact, your prayer intention. Me, when I was even applying, the way I was praying. If you have not prayed in your life, if you have not been praying in your life, that's when you pray hard. In fact, you pray well. So now, after you've done everything, and then let's say finally you get approved by God's grace in Jesus' name, you're approved. You're now ready. You see yourself flying to Canada already. In fact, you've already seen yourself in the airport before you have even left the country. So now they'll tell you to send your passport. They will now request for your passport. Then you send your passport to them and they stamp your visa. That's the visa. That's what you're going to use to present when you get to Canada at the airport and all those things. That's what you'll be using. They'll be checking all of those things. Mind you, your study permit will be approved, right? And your visa will be approved as well. But you will get your study permit itself, like the paper thing itself, when you get to Canada. That's when you get your study permit. So don't be confused. Don't start saying, where is my study permit, or where has it gone to, and you're already confused, or you're panicking about it. Don't panic. It is on the way. It's going to be with you when you get to Canada. That's when you're going to get your study permit in person. And then they'll check all the necessary things that they have to check there. And you head to your school, okay? Or to wherever you're going. All right. So now, because you don't have your study permit with you physically, they will send you a letter of introduction. So that's the letter you need. Like, that's the highest thing you carry. Don't forget it though. And I remember my video I did on packing, when you're packing to come to Canada. Put your documents first, because if you forget one thing, you're doomed. So that's the letter you're going to use to present at the Canada Border Services Agency. That's what you're going to show them, and then they'll let you in, because you don't have your study permit in person, right? So they'll give you that one, and make sure you bring it with you, please. So don't forget it. So please, that's if you have been approved and everything. This one is for those who have been approved. If you have not been approved, don't worry, you will probably try again. Okay, so that's everything in this video. I have done my best to summarize it. If not, it's going to be as long as, because I know everybody has questions, because even though we all go about this application process, but everybody's application is unique. Everybody's thing is different. CIC or the visa officer can be looking at your application with Holy Ghost fire. Holy Spirit can be touching him. So things that things that could have been an issue, they'll be ignored. Do you understand? So it depends at this point. So just keep being positive. Do your application thoroughly, carefully, and neatly, and I think you have nothing to worry about, and you'll be okay, right? So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything concerns, please leave your questions down in the comment section, and I'll respond to them. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.